Hello, good morning, welcome to Natasha Makes. As ever, I'm just finishing off my make today, as you do last minute. Welcome to today's show. Today we have got, I was asked, do we have a mug carrier pattern? Oh no, actually we don't. So to the person who asked, this is for you, because you asked for it, so here it is. And I hope you like it. Really. So this is what we're doing today, and but more than that, I have got some very, very, very exciting bundles for you, and I think you are going to love them. They've got nice price for you. Yes, we have. Very nice price. I've also been inundated with lots and lots and lots of people asking if we have got any more of the geese bundles that we had on yesterday's show. The answer is not at the moment. It would have to be a third colourway. So when we come off air, let me see what I could manage for you on that front. Let me just take a little photo of this and then we're good to go. So what have we got? This is it. I'm just about to add the handle, so you just got to imagine this handle is going on there, and we've got our own little mug carrier. Let me just shut that studio door because I can hear those dogs around and about. Ah, righty ho. So this is the mug carrier, and it's going to fit any standard size mug. So you know the ones that you get printed or just your normal mugs. That's what it's made for, sort of the generic mug. Now, if you then want to, you can then, so say you're on the train or something and you just want your own mug, and then you can take that down. You've got a pocket there to store all your tea bits, biscuits, anything like that, teas, sugars, anything that you want. But then you've got somewhere, if you want a piece of cake or a biscuit, that you can put that without having to put it on a dirty surface. So this carry case actually detaches. On it goes there. It flips over here, and I've just got to pop the handle on. That's it. So it's a multi-use one, great for a gift. So maybe you're having a personalised mug done, in which case, why not pop it in here, in a little gift carrier. And like I say, I'm just about to add on that handle there, and it will be all good to go. Pop that in there for now. But before that, it's just been one of those mornings this morning. I don't know where the time had gone. I got up in plenty of time, and yet here I am, as ever, still going, oh, well, we're going live now? Now? What, really now? Not in a bit. No, now. So I have got something rather lovely from you from one of my suppliers who sent us some scrap. And I say scrap, it's really a bit too lovely to class as scrap. But the first people to spend this morning £50 or more will get a free bundle of fabric. Can't say better than that, can you? Hey, just as a little extra from me to you. And you have a tidy up, because I have got the most beautiful, beautiful fabric bundles for you today. Now they're all available, bar one, as fat quarters, but your discount is on the half meters. I can't discount a fat quarter, not really. It's the extra cutting and everything else. It takes us much longer, so I'm not going to do that, but I will discount you on the main ones. So let me get my cutting mats out the way, because I think you're going to love these ones. Let's say hello to everyone before we start, so that we've got all of that, and not out the way, but you know what I mean, ticked off, and we are all polite. And everything else, let's see who have we got. So we have got, good morning, we have got, let me scroll back, Natasha Cattle, it's a great name. Jan's here, Val's here, good morning, Pat's here, good morning, Sue's here, hi, Jane's here, Grace is here, hello, Marilyn's here. Oh, she's a lovely dress, thank you. It's summer, dress got to come out. Ginny's here, good morning everyone, it's warmer now and so the sneezes start. Achoo. I know. Said that this morning when I woke up. Karen said, good morning everyone. I'm using Natasha's pleated bag pattern to make my first skirt. Fingers crossed it works. Oh, do let me know. I love a good pattern hack. Gabriel's here. Lovely idea for gifting a mug for celebrations. That's the thing, isn't it? Oh, it's freezing in Melbourne. It must be one of the rare days, Deb, that we are actually warmer than you. Sue's here. Thank you, Sue. Nancy's here. Good evening from Victoria, Australia. And Julia's here, and Helen's here, and Claire's here. Good morning to all of you. And Sylv, shh, she's working. But hark, the washing machine is finished. Need to hang blankets out. Be right back. This is a regular thing in our house at the moment. Is just my tumble dryer is one of the sensors is being a little bit temperamental, shall we say. So some days it wants to work, other days it doesn't want to work. It's mighty annoying. Shall we have a look at beautiful fabric bundles? That might be the thing. Let's do that thing, shall we? No, don't end my session just because I went onto Facebook. Oh, this really does have opinions. It's a bit like my daughter. Here we go. Right, I only have 3 of these. Okay, now, I don't have this as a fat quarter bundle at all, not at all. But I do have, this is the last of the mythical. There is no more mythical after this. I've popped it with this incredible teal polka dot. And then also I've popped it with pomegranate here because you want that contrast. If you're making this make, hey look, you don't have to make this make, but with the make today, how I have done it is that you've got 3 different fabrics in there. You're not going to use a whole fat quarter for each, but there you have it. So you've got your lining. Now let me just take this, whoop, can I take this off here? I have, pin that on there well, pop it on well. So I've got my octopuses on there. So you can just take that and have that safely there. And then I've got my octopuses and then these, this is Lewis and Irene, and then I've got my plain on the inside there. Pop that back on. And there it is. Just need to, like I say, pop the handle on that. Get a handle on it. So these are the 3 here, but I've got 3. That's it. These are all half meters. Then that mythical is gone. That has been such a fabulous, popular fabric. That is bundle number 1. Now, we're launching today brand new Lewis and Irene for a start. And this is another colourway of it. So you've got the lovely octopus. And I've done this with a navy, in the navy, because that just makes all of the other blues absolutely pop. Who would like a closer look at the octopus? Look at him. He's rather fabulous. Freddie's very taken with this fabric. It's good, isn't it? And then these are they urchins? I guess they are. So anyway, available either as a half metre trio with your navy. I think we've got some cut to order on these as well. If you need some extra. I know some of you wanted a dress make. This is the colourway that I made my sample out of, which is rather fabulous. And then I've got a purpley one as well. So if you fancy getting your mittens on a purpley variety, they mix and match though. So if you're going for more than one bundle, you can intermingle them, intermix and match with them as much as your little heart desires. But I just love those. So this is the chalky range, which is a Greek island. I think it means little jewel or something. Now, Dashwood, I love this, and a non-directional print for some of this is going to work an absolute treat. And I've popped this with paprika, so I've found the darker orange there. But look who you could have climbing up it all. You could have a koala. Now in this bundle, that plain is coming to you, that half metre of plain is coming to you for free. That's the bundle that we've put together for you. It is a little bit crazy, but we've done it anyway. So if you would love these bundles, you pay for the 2 Dashwoods, effectively, and even then you're only paying $7.49 per half metre, and then you're getting your plain for free. I can't say fairer than that. And it's the same with the Lewis and Irene as well. We've popped that plain in for free. These are ridiculous, ridiculous bundles today. Now, maybe you want to go classic. Maybe you're someone that has a William Morrissey type mug, in which case this is the bundle for you. You've got your nude coloured plain there, which looks so beautifully with the background there of your Emery's willow. And then here you've got your small wallflower, which is just so beautiful. So you've got more of a classic one here. Maybe you like your blue and white china, in which case that might be the perfect one for you. Or do you know what? You might just be adding into your stash, because you can. And for that, I salute you. This is a real fun one. Now we're getting to that time of year where I'm starting to think about teacher gifts. It's starting to happen. Yes, it is. Now I have put the spearmint with this one because there's a little bit of lighter spearmint in with the panda. And there is, by the way, can you see, there is a little bit of gold metallic on these. They're by Beth and Janine. And then with your cranes, there's a little bit of gold metallic in there. But I like the way that this is just a shade lighter than here, but you have got it in with the pandas there, and the pandas tie up here. And again, you are getting that ½ metre of plain here for free this morning, which is just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. But hey, I don't know what Gemma did for prices with these. But this is from a new collection called Woodland Notes. I'm going to work with this today because all three of them work so beautifully together. And I'm very excited to go with that. So that's what I'm going to be making mine out of today. And then I have a very, very special bundle here. And I'm going to go overhead because I know you know. Those that know. I will come back in close in a minute, but my goodness me. Kaufman. I managed to get my hands on one more bundle of Aurelia. It's just exquisite. You've got these gold dragonflies and it's just beautiful, which meant that I'd been saving these for another show, but I will crack these out as well. These are your 8.5 inch. Look at the gold. It just picks up all the gold detailing in here. Your 8.5 inch, whatchamacallit? Kiss clasp. That's the one. That's the one. A Woodland Notions ½ metre trio should be $23.97, listed at $19.99. Do you know what, Gemma? I think we can bring that down a little bit. Should we put that at $17.99? I think that's only fair. Now remember, the first ones of you to spend £50 or more, the first 4 of you will get that scrap bundle in with it as well, as a little thank you from us to you. Now, what have we put with this? Well, there's a lovely company called the Dutch Heritage Quilting Company, and the colours just went so beautifully. I'm going to come up onto a close-up so that you can absolutely appreciate the incredible, incredible quality of this. So this is Kaufman. As I know, a lot of you missed out on this before. But this is your Kaufman here. And just the exquisite dragonflies are just beautiful. And you can see why. That's going to work so beautifully with these, but just look how beautiful. Can you see the detailing? This isn't a plain from the Dutch Heritage. No. It is actually, it's got some detail in there as well. And then that pink, to pull the hot pink out of there. This is a very, very special trio. Now I have taken this one down to $20.99. Should have been a lot more than that. So this is your biggest saving, I think, today. I think. So there we go. When this is gone, it's gone. I don't know if I can get any more. Yeah, I don't think it's even in print. So it would be if I can track down any bolts that other people didn't want. But quite frankly, who wouldn't want this? Or any of them. So that is today's show. Have a little look. Have a ponder. Don't leave it too long, though, if you want to be one of the first to get your free fabric. And yeah, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Now, tomorrow, we are going to make picnic blanket, play mats, whatever you want to call them. I've got fabulous flannels for you for tomorrow if you want to make play mats. I've got brand new fabrics for you. I've got all sorts of goodies going on for you tomorrow. But if you wanted to make a picnic blanket, say out of this range of fabrics, then you might want to have a little look at that. Buying, you know, making the most of the discount on these. It's entirely up to you. Entirely, entirely, entirely. Right, now then. Let's have a little crack on with this. This is more of a dress making weight fabric. You can still quilt with it, you can still do whatever you like with it, but when you get it and you go, oh, it feels slightly lighter, it's more of a cotton lawn. And actually, this looks rather lovely with it as well. Jane was admiring that this morning. But as a trio, I think it's very, very, very beautiful. Very, 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 very beautiful. Now, 2 patterns for you this morning, generic and then made to measure, because here at Natasha Makes, I'm not going to lie, we like oddly shaped mugs. We've got sort of triangular ones. Freddie's got a Lego mug. Chris, who works for us, quite frankly, it's a bucket, not a mug. So I suddenly thought, you know, yes, a lot of people, and if you get the photo mugs or anything like that, personalised photos mugs, this is the size. If you've got a Natasha Makes mug, this is the size of the mug, and that's what this is fitting. I had to have a starting point somewhere, so that was it. But there's another set of instructions. So if you've got an odd shaped mug that is your absolute favourite that you want to take to a workshop or on the train or wherever it is, or maybe you're going to stay with a friend, or maybe you do a workshop in a village hall or something and you're not quite sure, you know, when they put the mugs like lip side down and then you're not quite sure if that surface is even clean. It's that. It's that. Take your own mug. You're done, right? You are sorted then. So without further ado, let's crack on. I've got a little bit of waist shaper. You don't have to waist shaper, and it's just going to be a tiny bit. So it's just going to be like an offcut of that. Now, decisions. The decisions today is going to be which ones do we put where? Ooh. I think I'm going to have that for my lining. I'm going to have that for my outer, and also for my actual mug thing. I'm going to have that for my lining of my mug, and that for my pocket. I think. This is the hardest bit. The hardest bit is divvying it all up and deciding what needs to go where. I also now need to remember how I measured all of these. That's the next fun thing. So, but I do know that if you can do, obviously some of these aren't, what's the word I want? What is the word I want? Non-directional. Non-directional means you don't even have to think about it. Because these are directional, I am just thinking about which way I cut. Cut your case fabric first. So that if you're working with a fat quarter, if you're working with a ½ metre, it's not an issue. But this, I've cut myself a fat quarter here. Like I say, all bar one of these bundles, oh no, 2 of the bundles, the Kaufman isn't available by the fat quarter. It's just too beautiful a fabric. I needed to have a full ½ metre or not at all. That's how that one's going to work. So bossy. So bossy. Now I've got to remember how wide I did this now. Can't remember. Isn't that awful? I only did it today. And yet, I cannot actually remember my own cutting instructions. Whoops. Oh no, there we go. And again, if you are making for your own mug, then that's going to vary anyway. So let's cut on this one as well. You will get this out of a fat quarter of H640 and have stuff left over. I did not pay attention to the direction of my first make, my first attempt at this, and I nearly managed to get the whole lot out of two I nearly managed to get two of these out of a fat quarter, but not quite. So we're going to get everything cut first, and then we can crack on with the making. So this is going to be our case. If you've never sewn with lawn before, give it a go. It's a little bit lighter weight, but the beauty of it is that it's really hard wearing. So the fibres are longer and thinner, and so it's a much tighter fabric and incredibly beautiful to work with, really beautiful to work with. I'm going to save those scraps over there, just in case I need them elsewhere in the future. So that is my case. There's not lots and lots of funny cutting or anything for this at all, really. Nothing at all. Right, now then, for the mug, I'm going to cut, let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look here. So for the mug, we are going to cut across, because we're going to do it in a oneer. In a oneer. What is she talking about in a oneer? I was going to do this with a front and a back, and I thought, well, that's ridiculous. Why don't I just do a back seam to it? It'd be much easier. So that's what I've done. Just made life easy. Gemma will argue that that's not normal for me. In fact, lots of people probably argue that's not normal for me, but today I'm going to give that a jolly good go. So just one piece. So when you're reading these, and please do read these instructions. I had someone email me the other day saying, your tidy up trug instructions, they're wrong. It's more like a tote. I'm really disappointed, and the kit that you've provided doesn't have enough fabric in it. No. She completely misread and cut two when only one piece was needed. So please, please, please do read these instructions carefully, and don't do what you think, do what is actually there. Oh, I sound like such a teacher, don't I? But it is, that's just it, isn't it? Whoop. But yeah, certainly there are, you know, in workplaces, a lot of us like to have our own mugs, for sure. So there's that. Now, how tall is that? Ooh, not quite. So this is what you'll have left out of your fat quarter of H640. I was going to say you could use, well, you could use anything really to interface it. I've gone with something that's going to be a little bit protective. There we go. Here we go. And then this is a nice beginner make, by the way. Really nice beginner make for you. So that's your spare leftover H640. What am I talking about? That's not enough for another one at all. I must have got some out of my scrap bin. So we've got, that is for our mug case. This is the bit that wraps around it. Let's now, whilst I remember, cut a handle piece. Let's get a handle on this. And again, you've got all the options as to how you want that to look. Do you know what? And this sounds horrible, but because this is going to be the handle, and it's the one bit that might get a little bit dirty, let's cut it out of this bit. Where's my little ruler? Can anyone see my little ruler? That's what oh, it's under here. So is everyone having a good day today? Is that a thing? Is everyone having a good day? I hope you are. It can't be. We didn't have a great week last week. So this week is going to be better. It just is. It has to be. So that's going to be our handle. That is all our cutting done. This is not a difficult project at all. Honestly, truly, not a difficult project at all. And then loads and loads and loads of spare fabric for you to do with what you will. You are going to need some cam snaps whilst we press things on. Let's get that done. So onto my outer fabric for my fold round wrap around case thing. I'm going to interface that. A little bit of steam just helps increase that glue flow, which is always a winner. You'll hear with cotton lawn, it does sound slightly different. And again, there we go. I'm also going to interface my handle. Now, I'm going to leave a little bit on extra hanging off the end. Okay, and that just means I tend to just adhere it and then go in. Here we go. All that is going to mean is that I can turn that round and then press it up against there, and it just means that I've got nice neat seams at the end. I've got no more raw edges, which is going to be great. If you haven't used Way Shaper before, I use it for handles because it's just so much easier, because it's pretty much already done. So what you'll do is you'll fold in that end, give it a little press. You might want to have a few little clips to hand. Then fold in this end, give it a little press. And then fold it up in half. So it gives you a lovely structured handle. But it's super, super easy, and the Way Shaper kind of guides you along. And then all you need to do is just sew down that side. I've got a little thread there that's going to drive me slightly insane. So let's just cut that off. So when you're ready, you can just sew down both sides, and that'll be the handle done, ready for that. Let's give that a little press so that we've got everything nice and ready to go. Oh no, do you know what? I've lied. I have completely and utterly lied. I want to do a pocket, don't I? So I'm going to need to cut one more thing. Just the one more thing. Let's interface this, and then we've got everything cut and we are good to go. This is not a long make. It's 2 parts, but it really isn't very long at all. Make to sell as well. Maybe do these in your Christmas fabrics as well if you're going to do Christmas markets. We've still got some of those beautiful Christmas fabrics. And well done for those of you that have been getting your advent calendars and securing those, because when we are done with those, we are done with those, and we will not be making any more because we've bought everything. I've been buying since January for the advents. I buy it throughout the year, and I buy to a certain number. So it's not a matter of, oh, I can just make up a few more. That's not how this is. Pocket, 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 pocket. Where did I put all my fabric? Oh, here we go. Now, what did I say I was going to do? I said I was going to do my pocket out of this, didn't I? So let's cut that then. Now, you can do a little tiddly pocket, but If you are a tea or a coffee monster, then you might want to make yourself a larger pocket. This is going to sit right the way across here. Oh, I've cut it half an inch too big. All your cutting instructions are in there. And if you're making it to your own size, then yes, your cutting instructions will be in there, but it's more measuring to then show you how big you need them to be. Because it just struck me, you know, the whole point that you might be wanting to take your favourite mug with you is because, you know, it's just a little bit different. So let's start then by making that pocket. Oh, hang on. Have I got some messages? Oh, YouTube comments. Here we go. Oh, very grown up in my dress. Thank you, Dan. It's like I'm a grown up. Must say that the Tilda duck you made yesterday was absolutely adorable. Cynthia, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's technically a goose, but it just looks like, that's what Tilda calls it. So if you are looking for any of that on the Tilda's world, because it is there, Cynthia, yesterday's goose, and that's the little one. The big one is quite a bit bigger. But they're all on tildasworld.com. So all those patterns, they're all for free. We're just printing them off and putting them in because I know that a lot of people can't or don't have a printer or don't like to print. Or before I had our industrial printer, I would always shout at my printer and want to throw it out the window. That was just how that one went. And then, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, YouTube comment. What else did we have? Ivan says, good morning, I've just been looking for patterns to make a mug carrier. No need to keep looking. I was asked, someone messaged me, I can't remember who it was, because I'm rubbish with names, and said, do you have one? I was like, bear with me, because I will, and I was just wondering what to do this week. Anne says, morning from sunny Cyprus, struggled to log into your website for that dreaded oh, yeah, hopefully you're in now. But she loves the selection of fabrics, so that's good. Megan says, sorry, been absent on holes with motorhome group, basking in the sun and liberal amounts of alcohol. That does not sound bad. There is absolutely no need to apologise for that. And Ali says, good morning, ransacking the house looking for my car keys. I remember putting them in something and saying to myself, do not forget this different place. We've all done that. Just so that you all know, I had my car keys there and I put them on the piano stool. So when I can't find them, they're on the piano stool. Although saying that, the cleaner's in today, so they might not still be there later. For those of you that wondered where we were while we went live yesterday, by the way, it's because we were making this with Jane while starting off block of the month. So the first block is the rail fence up here. This month, coming up next month rather, is going to be this one, and so we work our way around. It's not too late to join in. The sessions are recorded and loaded up onto the subscription platform. It's $6.99 a month, so it's the cost of a pattern to join us for that. There you go. You can use your own fabrics. There's no, there's no requirement to buy. It's all good. Right. Let's make this pocket, shall we? And actually get making. So we are going to fold that pocket right sides together, and then we're going to sew whilst I'm here and I'm sewing. Let's get that handle sewn, shall we? Just as it's here. You can increase your stitch length on this if you wish. Whoop. Perhaps if I move the clip out of the way. And then sew down the other side. And it also helps if... Now, someone was asking about my scissors. Helen, I think it might have been you. Can I get them? Can I? It's these rainbow ones. I cannot remember for the life of me where I bought them. But I will have a look around and see if I can find them, where they were. Oh, I've gone a bit wobbly where I ran into my clip. It's not the end of the world. Don't worry about that. So that's my handle done. Pop that to one side. With the pocket, I've sewn down one side. Let's turn it through. We'll give that a nice little press. I'm going to put that seam on the bottom. Give that a little finger press. You can give this a proper press if you want. And then we're just going to top stitch down the other end, down the folded end. Then give that a press. That's your pocket done. And again, you can batch make these. So if you're making a few for gifts, you know, you really can get going with these. Right. So if we want to, let's do the mug carrier bit of this first. So what we're going to do, fold it like so and stitch down 1/4 of an inch down both sides. Oh, I do like lawn. It's so nice to work with. And again, you can batch do these. So again, make sure that that is folded nicely in half. So I'm going to bed late last night because Josh was absolutely horrified to learn that I have not watched Roadhouse, the original one with Patrick Swayze. So how have you never watched Roadhouse? So my question to you is, what is the movie that you should have watched and you haven't watched yet? Now, I'm going to sew along the base, but first of all, what I suggest you do is find that centre point there. Just cut a little notch so you know where it is, and then align that there. Just make sure if you're working with a pattern, directional pattern, that you've got it the right way up. Okay. So yeah, I can't believe I've never ever watched Roadhouse. And then with 20 minutes to go, I was like, oh, I need to go to sleep. I can't watch this anymore. So I still don't know what happens. I'm hoping it's got a happy ending, but I don't know. It was the fight by the lake. That's where I got to. Right. I'm going to mark on here because I'm chatting and I will forget a turning through gap. Okay. And then I'm going to sew along there, and along the base here. And it just means that you've only got one seam, and that is at the back. Gemma's just messaged me. What do you want, Gemma? What do you want? Gemma's never watched Roadhouse either. Oh, I feel better. It's got Patrick Swayze. Why can't I say his name right? Patrick Swayze in absolute fine form. I think I was probably too busy watching Dirty Dancing when I was a kid to bother with Roadhouse. It's not a girly flick. It's a proper boy flick. I feel better though that you'd not watched it, because you've watched lots of things. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to box the corners. So we're going to put our hand in, and if you want to give it a press so that you've got a guide, by the way, then do. But you're going to go to each side and you're going to create, that pressed seam is going to go in line with your bottom seam, and you're going to create a little triangle like so, okay? And then you're going to measure, or you can just put it on your cutting mat, an inch down. So from that tip down to there, an inch, and then just draw a little line across. And then we're going to sew on these lines. So make sure you've got your foot in the middle. And again, so just fingers in, splay the fabric up to an inch. Find your ruler, here's my ruler, and measure it across. You can use your ruler to measure from that tip if you want. And we'll do this on both sides, but we will just start on one to start off with. It just is easier if you make sure that your needle is in the middle. But you'll just have to remember to turn it back in a minute. And then all you'll do, I need to give my machine a good service because it's starting to not cut the threads, which means there's something caught in there. Right, just trim back. Oh, trim back the seams. Sorry, it didn't change. That's annoying. But I've sewn on that line and then trimmed back. That's very annoying for everybody. Soz, sorry. So again, same thing. At that tip, measure off an inch. And you can do it from there and make sure that that seam is central if you want. But this is just boxing that bottom. There we go. And then stitch those down. This time, there we go. Oh, no, it's cut it now. Obviously heard me. Right, so trim back that seam. Got a bigger pair of scissors, that helps. About approximately 1/4 of an inch. And then. So that's your outer. We're going to turn through our lining. Even remembered my turning through hole. Well done me. And we're going to align those back seams. If you want to pin it, clip it, do whatever, just to get it in place, then do. Again, if you need to just, I do the little tug test just to make sure that yes, my lining and my outer are absolutely in line perfectly. I am going to start and stop on my seam, there or thereabouts. And then I'm just going to sew around the top. So stopping every now just to give myself a straight edge to sew along. You can either go forwards or back to secure a stitch, or you can just sew over. And there we go. And then you're going to turn it through. I've done that thing of leaving the world's smallest turning through gap, haven't I? Yes, I have. I'm going to have to increase that. Why do I do this to myself every single time? Every time I go, that'll be fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. I do not have little hands. Oh, I am ridiculous. There we go. I mean, I'm not saying I've got man hands or anything, but you know, I'm also not a 5-year-old child, it turns out. Now, if Emily were here, this could be her job. Like, just turn that through. Pull from the furthest point. That is always a helper as well. It's sort of a false economy to leave a too small a turning through gap, because sometimes you can just end up ripping your stitches and then it just distorts the fibres and done. So yeah, it's not big, it's not clever. Well, it certainly wasn't big, that was the problem. Right, we will be sewing that through in just a moment, but let's just make sure that everything is turned through correctly. These are such lovely colours, aren't they? Those peachy colours, pinks, against that soft grey. Just gorgeous. So I'm going to push that lining in, find that top seam and give it a little press. And then I can sew around the top seam just so that it's held in place, so that if you spill tea or anything on it, you can just take this off and throw it through the wash. Everything needs to be washable in my house. I have children, dogs, cats, ducks, and all sorts of other animals. Oh, the chickens are getting big. They must be point of lay now. They must be. I was letting them out this morning thinking, my gosh, you girls are big. Proper full-sized chickens. Must be about time we had some eggs from them. Come on, girls, sort it out. In fact, I could hear one of them shouting last night. So what are they shouting about? And it was the sort of shout that you get when they've laid an egg and they think they're really clever. But no, she had not. So I'm going to sew around that top and then I'm going to sew up my turning through gap. You can sew it up by hand, but you know me, if it doesn't get done now, it's not going to get done. So I'm not. I can't be more honest than that, can I really? Oop. That's a bit of a ham-fisted way of doing that. Never mind. The thing with the Juki is that you know that your bobbin stitch is going to be exactly the same as your top stitch. So it never really matters which way up you sew things, which is pretty comforting. There you go. My turning through gap. And if you want to press it to make this a bit easier, then you can. But otherwise, just top stitch it down. I meant to change my needle because I've done a cork project in between, but I forgot. But that would always help. Right, so then that's your little case done. Okay, so let's look at the next bit to do. So you can pop that to one side. For now, we will come back to it, don't worry. We've got our pocket. Okay, so let's get our lining fabric here and our pocket. And I would just measure down sort of 6.5 inches and put that in line there. And let's just baste that pocket in place. I say baste the pocket in place. I don't really mean that. I do mean actually sew it down. I tend to do a quarter of an eighth of an inch rather down the sides and just top stitch it in place along there. If you want to then put a divider in so that your tea and coffee will never the twain shall meet, then do. It's entirely up to you, but I'm just going to top stitch down, and then everything is held in place. Now the beauty of this, of course, is that you can, you've got lots of space actually in your mug to keep your biscuits. So this can purely be reserved for your tea sachets and your coffee sachets. But that's your pocket in and done. How easy is that? I mean, in a world of pockets, I'd like to say that is possibly the easiest known to man. And we're going to place this right sides together. Now, this is going to come round and over and under like that. So you need to decide just which way up. Do I want it to come up like that and then come down like that? It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. But we're going to go right sides together. Now, if you want to curve the edges, then it's a matter of right now, get something round and just draw it onto there. If you want to curve the foldy over flappy bit. But again, this is not essential. You don't need to at all. But if you want to, then you can. And we're going to leave a turning through gap in the bottom seam here. And we're going to pin everything together. And we're going to sew 1/4 inch all the way around. So this will be a make you can whip up in an hour. Maybe even less if you're batch making. That's entirely up to you. Maybe this is something you want to make out of scraps. Again, entirely up to you. Let's sew this together. And then where I've marked that curve, I'm just going to use that as my edge. And sew around. Right, so let's trim off, whoops, any excess on those corners. And do just check that you have, you have caught everything, nothing's moved or anything whilst you were sewing. And then if you've got pinking shears around those curved edges, and you can very much do that, and then you're ready to turn through. There we go. We're going to give this a good press, and then we're going to assemble everything. If you've got a little pokey tool, mine was out from doing the geese. But they just ease into those corners, so you get those nice crisp corners. Don't go in really heavy-handed, or you will go through your stitches. And then up to the end, Might even want to get your fingers in to get around those curves. And then you're going to give that a jolly good press. And press your turning through gap under. And then we're going to top stitch around. So where my turning through gap is, it's got jolly hot. Just give that a little. Okay. And we're going to top stitch round. And in top stitching round, we are also making sure that we sew up that turning through gap. Okay, so I'm going to start along that edge. And then just top stitch around. So, we've done that, we've sewn round, and now we are ready to assemble the whole thing. So you might want to grab your mug at this point. That would be a very useful thing to do. Pop your mug in. This is snug, okay? You want your mug protected. That is the whole point, is that you want it nicely protected. Crikey. There we are. There is a neck. Get the larger side in first. There we go. There's no point having it so that it's not snug in there because you don't want it moving around. You want it protected. And then we're going to fold over as much as you like, really. But just make sure, again, that your mug is protected. And this bit here is going to protect around the rim. And you can take it out again and make sure that that is nicely done. So we've got our mug in there. And we're happy with that. So now what we're going to do is place this on here. And just underneath, the turnover. So this is going to be slightly different for everyone's. Underneath the turnover, that's where this is going to attach. Okay. So what I want you to do is, on this bit, we're going to measure down 1/2 inch from the top. And then we're going to measure in 1/2 inch from each side, 1/2 inch. And then we're going to measure 1.5 inches in from each side. So 1.5 inches, 1/2 inch, 1.5 inches, 1/2 inch, 1.5 inches. Okay. And 1/2 inch down from the top. Now, we are going to place on here. So get your pokey tool and poke through onto there, and that will make a mark on there. And that will make a mark there. Okay, so we're going to now put our snaps in here. Okay, choose which colour you fancy. Ooh, decisions. Got some lovely colours in here. I'm going to go with this blushy grey, I think. So you're going to need your pokey tool, and these two are going to face in. So let's make these holes here. Pop those through. So the flat side is going to face through into the lining. And then on the lining side, I would put the pokey uppy bits, so the male bits. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Just make sure that on the other side you put the other ones. So you can take your mug out, and then on those holes, and if you want to just make sure that they're sort of level or anything like that, now that you've got it out, this is your time to sort of just even everything out. Make sure that you've got them they are pretty much level there. And so these ones will be from the inside out. Just double check yourself, which ones did you put in? And put the corresponding snap in there. Okay, so now you've got your outer snaps there. Okay, I've got some annoying little threads I just need to trim. And then on these ones, I would have these side ones facing the opposite way. Okay. There we go. And if you want to, you can absolutely pop your mug back in. I don't know if I've used a slightly larger seam allowance on this one, but certainly the other mug made it the same size. But it's nice and snug and safe. And then this is going to fold over, and at this point you're just going to mark off your corresponding markers as to where you want these to be, and you can feel them with your fingers, and then you can pop a mark in the middle as to where you want, with your mug in there, where those poppers are best to be. And so in they go. So they now clip everything in place there. You might, if you're just packing, you might not even want to put the handle on. But if you do want to put the handle on, then now is the time to work out its placement. So decide where you want it, where's going to sit nicely. I would just clip it on one side. So decide where sits nicely in the middle for you there. Yeah. Clip it in place. And then undo, unclip everything. And then just level that up so that you know and what I'm going to say is you can mark this on. I would measure in, you could almost do up to an inch to be honest, but 3/4 of an inch if you want. Just mark along there and along there, the other side. And so a little square on there. So again, making sure that you've got and you can follow the top stitching line if you want to be really smart. Take that pin out. Gonna have a few little threads to snip, but that's okay. You can neaten that up afterwards. And same the other side. And all that's doing is giving your handle, excuse me, a little lift. If you want to sew it in a cross and do all of that, then you can. But unless your mug is an actual lead weight, don't worry about it. This will hold it sufficiently. I think for me, a lot of this is just about giving that mug a little bit of protection. There we go. So now we can assemble it fully. So if we're on the train or something like that and we want to have a sandwich out, somewhere to place it that isn't on the dirty table, you've got somewhere to put your tea bags or anything like that. And then here, when you're ready then and done, ready to go, you can fold that over, snaps on, and off you go. And that is our little mug carry. There you go, in under an hour. Because we chatted a bit, didn't we, at the beginning? So that's your little mug carry, and just a lovely little gift for someone. It's protected if you want to travel, and you are good to go. And also if you're traveling, and because sometimes you'll get free refills, or you'll get a discount if you bring your own mug, or your own travel mug, or whatever else that is. So there it is. Take your own mug with you, and away you go. Don't forget, first 4 of you that bought over £50, you'll get your scrap bags, not scraps, they're too big to be called scraps. The Kaufman, when that's gone. You can get these, apart from the Kaufman and the Mystical fabrics, everything else is available as a fat quarter bundle, but your saving is on the half metre. On the half metres you have got at least a saving of the plain or the equivalent if it's like the one that I was using here. This hopefully Gemma put down to £17.99. Right, that is it today. That's for a half metre, and you can see I didn't even use a full fat quarter for each of these. So you would get 2 or 3, easily 3, out of 1/2 metre bundle. So there we go, everybody. That is today's show. Tomorrow we bring you brand new Lewis and Irene. We bring you brand new fabrics to make playmats. We bring you Kaufman flannel. Yes. At amazing prices. Gemma's just messaged me. What have I forgotten? She said, I did. I've taken it down to £17.99. And Diane says, got my Kaufman, thank you. We'll use my other stash for a quilt. And I won't lie, I adore this fabric. So time to stop stroking it and start making something. Love Derbyshire dye. Dye, do you know what? I was really surprised. I jumped in the car yesterday and went down to my suppliers because they had an open day, and I wasn't there yesterday, and I'm amazed that that was still left. Absolutely amazed, because that would have been, well, it was the first thing that I put on my pile. I'm like, I am having this, thank you very much. So yeah, absolutely got that for you. And yeah, and some other goodies, which is why we can pop that discount on for you today. So stock up while those discounts are good. Grab your beautiful fabrics and enjoy. And I will see you here tomorrow when we get ready for dining al fresco, or just making a playmat. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.